Hello, beautiful friends. It's Leah Marie here with a special pick a card reading with the Animal Medicine deck by Jamie Sams and David Carson, which is actually the first animal deck that I had ever purchased and have been working with for quite some time now. I will be shuffling this one a little different too because his paper is very thin, so with this week's pick a card, I invite you to actually connect with the animal kingdom specifically this time by bringing your awareness to your heart center, perhaps being more conscious with your breath, and really allowing yourself to open up to the realm of animals and animal spirits. And they are amazing guides and guardians and helpers and can do so very much to help us on our journey. And so when you specifically connect with their energy, they can then open up the wealth of wisdom that their soul carries to help you on your path. So I invite you to connect with them and to bring forth anything specific that you would like clarity on, guidance on, more information. Gonna let the two pop out there. And just bring that into your awareness now as you also connect with the animal spirits themselves, knowing that they will bring forth whatever messages. That feels like that. All right, looks like we might be doing 4 today. So they will bring forth whatever messages that you guys need at this time in such a way that will relate to what you're going through, or perhaps skills or attributes within you that might not yet be fully awakened. So animals are really powerful in that way too, because we do have their spirit energy within us, and it often comes down to it not being activated within us yet. And so even with looking at the backs of these cards with this beautiful lightning bolt, to me, this signifies that energy wanting to be electrified or awakened or amplified within you at this time. So go ahead and bring whatever it is you want to bring into your conscious awareness for guidance on. And as always, connect with your heart when selecting the card or cards today. If you have any questions or feel called to share anything or support the channel, that information's all in the description box below. And I will have the timestamps as well for card 1 through 4 in today's case. So you can just go ahead whenever you're ready and select which card you feel most drawn to. We'll begin with card 1 here. And the first card is Possum Energy, which is really fun and is interesting because so often there are animals in the animal kingdom that when I do this work with people in one-on-one readings or their animal totem readings, so often people are like, oh, wait, but I don't want that animal. And this is one of the ones that is often sort of poo-pooed by people because in our society it doesn't necessarily have the greatest reputation. And this is also part of what I feel very strongly called to do here in this life, is to help really show people the beauty that each animal and insect carries. And so with the possum, it's beautiful as well that their 23 breaks down to 5, which is a lot to do with change. And so you'll see on these cards, there's going to be different feathers or different charms that come with each animal, different medicine. Each animal has very specific medicine to itself. So I will, before I put that, because I realize my little basset there is kind of hiding it. So we've got the feather, we have coral, turquoise, a little bit more of the red and coral, and a antler, and then a medicine pouch. And so they have very strong medicine of being able to face all situations in very interesting ways. So as you may know, their reputation is for playing dead when they get into situations that are a little bit intense, we'll say, or perhaps life-threatening. And so it is really boils down to that being its form of protection. So not only does it get into a position where it recoils itself into itself, it creates its own energetic protective layer, and it also releases a scent that allows the whatever other animal might be coming to attack it to believe that it actually is dead and thus walk away. And so it's sort of this medicine of strategy and really being able to strategize in situations where, they are very small mammals. And so a lot of times they might come in contact with other beings that are much more formidable, and yet they are able to use a strategy in such a way that they survive and can move forward. And so the message coming through right now is really strongly looking at your strategies in life and how you choose to communicate those strategies and how you choose to move the pieces in your life so that you can move through even the most challenging situations in such a way that it is filled with grace. Now, I know that we might not look at a possum and think that it's a very graceful animal, and yet at the same time, it so effortlessly utilizes that energy of playing dead, and it does so in such a way that it's incredibly believable. Now, it's not to say that you're going to play dead in a situation. However, it may be that a situation you're in or about to be in, or perhaps have already moved through, you utilize the strategy of silence and stillness, and did so in such a way that your energy created its own force field around you of protection. Sometimes it isn't about us being forceful or aggressive in a situation. That strategy may work for some situations, but sometimes the most ideal strategy is to step back, to be still, to look at everything that's coming into play, and to really assess how we want to move forward in such a way that is going to be aligned with us achieving our desired outcome. It also puts you in a position of an observer, which allows you to see a lot more of the players in your particular situation, and often allows them to take action, which, if they're taking action from a place of reactionary position, oftentimes people will, if we just sit back, they will sort of allow a situation to unfold without us having to do anything but observe and then decide, okay, now I'm going to get back up and pop into this situation. So, the possum only plays dead. It doesn't remain in that state indefinitely. It does it as a strategy until its opponent or its predator moves away or backs down. And so this is also, if you are in a situation, as some people, I know the energies are very heightened right now, and there's a lot more people that are being a little bit more aggressive, more vocal, kind of more in people's faces about things. Now, if you choose to engage in return in that same way, it will be likely to create a much bigger fight or much bigger opposition. Whereas if you choose to be in that stillness, allow the other person to release that energy. I'm getting the analogy of almost like it's a toddler who just literally needs to wear themselves out. And then once they stop, then you're like, okay, now I can proceed with business as usual, versus allowing the intensity of other people's energies to incite you, get you angry, or cause you to be reactionary, because you get to choose whether you want to respond or react to something. And so that's also the possum is bringing that medicine forth. Choose how you want to respond in any situation, and that in and of itself is a very powerful strategy. So thank you for those of you who chose card 1. Sending you so much love and light. Take care. Bringing it over to card 2, we have the beautiful jaguar. Absolutely amazing being, and they are also coming with, as I explain will explain with all the cards, they come with their charms as well. So this one is having the feathers, the claws, the starfish, and the bone, and a little bit of a coral bead there as well. So this is connecting, bringing in the water element for emotional balance, and also bringing in the feathers for air. And then we have the talons, and that's going to be connected largely to the jaguar's warrior spirit. So the jaguar is a very strong warrior. In when I was studying in Peru, it was the top animal in terms of protectors there. They talk a lot about the jaguar, especially the rainbow jaguar, being the highest level protector of all the people. And so this animal can come through at this time, or is coming through at this time, to really talk to you about protection, to help you connect with not only the innate protection that you have within you, but also to help call upon the spirit of the jaguar for protection and safety. So, right now, I know there are a lot of energies churning in the world, and there are many people who are, facing energies of struggles with feelings of safety and protection, especially in cities where there's more rioting, like has been here in the Twin Cities. And so this is really calling you to work with your spirit guides, especially the jaguar. They are at the top of the food chain, and they have very few other predators. In most instances, in my years of nature video watching and reading, the crocodile alligator sort of energy is pretty much the only predator that they have. Otherwise, they are top of the chain, which in shamanic world puts them in place as the highest level protectors. Now, they also have these beautiful gifts of moving so seamlessly through the jungles in such a way that they go unnoticed. And so they're observing everything from these higher perspectives, often up in the trees where they're very, very regularly seen. And so they look over everything. And so, really calling their energy in to watch over you is going to help bring about a stronger connection, sense of safety, feeling of protection, and guardianship. Now, in addition to that, the jaguar is the animal in the shamanic traditions, especially in South America, that sits at the direction of west. And in that direction, Mother Jaguar speaks about inner integrity and being impeccable in our speech and in our actions. And so at this time, if the protection medicine wasn't necessarily resonating with you, or perhaps that's just a side bonus for you, that's not necessarily what you need most, this may be speaking to you, I feel, about impeccability in your speech and your actions. Now, what I mean by that is choosing wisely the words that you use when you speak with others, including yourself. So your self-talk, super important, to be impeccable, to be compassionate, to be loving, to be kind to yourself. And in addition, the way you speak to others. Are you speaking kindly? Are you being compassionate about what another person's path or process looks like? Knowing that it is not up to us to judge or dictate how someone else chooses to live their life. We each came here, we were each given a life to live in the way that we see fit. Now, we may not agree with the choices of others, just like others may not agree with our choices. However, when we operate from a place of inner integrity, of doing everything and saying everything from a place of love, from a connection with our heart, we are then putting that vibration out. We are giving permission to others to do the same. And then we are also giving ourselves the ability to look at the other and to see that they are doing what they know how to do in the best ways that they know how to do it. We don't necessarily always know how much training they have, how much experience they have, how they were raised. And so when we come with our own inner integrity and compassion, we can see the other and we can see that they are doing the best that they know how. now we can then have the opportunity as well to, again, share through loving and kind words and support things that have worked for us and things that we feel are true for us. And we can share those with people as we feel called to. And at the same time, it feels like it's a really important additional message with this card that it is important for you to honor your truth at this time, to honor what it is that you need, to honor what it is that you need to say, and to honor the actions that you feel called to take in the ways that you feel called to take them, regardless of how others may perceive that or whether they agree with it or not. Again, when you come from this place of inner integrity and impeccability, and you're saying, this is what I need to do because this is what my heart is calling me to do. This is what my soul is telling me I am here to do. While other people may not agree, they may soften in the way that they feel about it, or they may surprise you and support you in ways you never imagined. This feels like a very resonant message that's come through in other readings as well, because as we're getting this shakeup on a global level, it's really putting people into a beautiful position to start standing in their power more, which means speaking their truth authentically with integrity from their heart, and no longer choosing to live in the conditionings of the past that are being brought to our forefront now to be transformed for a reason. And so if you have been struggling with communicating with others, the Jaguar can really help bring you into that space by aligning you with your truth in such a way that you can speak it more freely. So meditate, connect with the Jaguar in any way that you feel called to allow it to help you move forward with grace. Thank you so much for those of you who picked card 2. Sending you much love and light. Take care. Going to card 3 here, which is the Black Panther. So interesting. This really is very linked to card 2. So I'm kind of seeing that we're getting double messages. However, the Black Panther is a little bit different than card 2. But if you did pick card 3, you may want to go check with card 2 as well. So with this one, we're getting the Black Panther. We're also getting some charms and additional energies. So we're getting the feather energy of flight and higher perspective. We're getting some shell bits and coral, and which is going to bring in the water element, the emotional balancing and clearing. And then a little bit of bone, so structure, stability, and antler, which also comes into structure, stability, protection, and then more little coral bead there. And so with the Black Panther, and in terms of like the protection energy with the antlers, Black Panthers are one of the top predators, and they are incredibly powerful, and they're incredibly strong protectors. So in this particular energy, I feel it is coming through not only to show you that you are very protected, but to also help guide you into unknown territory. So it's partner card, and they're very interchangeable energies. They're both nocturnal animals, but the Black Panther specifically helps us go into the sort of void energy, similar to the crow, but a little bit different in that the Black Panther helps us embrace the unknown, to step into territory that we have perhaps never stepped into before, in order to be able to bring forth new wisdom to the earth plane. And so this is a really strong message that I'm feeling about you knowing that you are protected completely as you go into unknown territory. So I'm seeing really lit up the golden eyes on the panther here. And so it's this ability, as all nocturnal animals have, they have more light receptivity in their eyes, specifically designed to pick up even the slightest hints of light in the darkest of places. And so much like the owl that's coming through, As I'm talking about this, the owl is bringing forth its message to work with the Black Panther in terms of being able to not only see in the darkest of places, but to awaken to the wisdom that exists in the unknown. So, oftentimes, when we are in darkness or when we are in, let's say, a forest at night, we could have feelings of fear come up because we can't necessarily see as well, of course, with our human eyes. And at the same time, there's a lot of unknown there because we sleep at night normally. So we don't necessarily know what's coming out at night. We don't necessarily know what's in front of us clearly. And so this can often trigger apprehension or fear or uncertainty, and it can make it more difficult for us to move forward when we don't have that clear knowing of what we're about to step into. So this is really allowing you to come into a space of knowing the Black Panther showed up for you today so that you know with total certainty that you are protected. So even what I'm seeing with this greenery around, it's like bringing that daylight energy, that, you know, abundant green energy into that space of the unknown, knowing that there is great abundance there. There is absolutely nothing to worry about. Moving forward, it's simply about taking the steps you need to take and calling on the Panther energy to protect you so that you can feel that sense of energy around you as you step into a new space. So, everything that we ever do in life, we don't know how to do until the first time we do it. So, on some level, everything was once uncertain, everything was once unknown to us until we began to move forward. And of course, there's going to be things that work out in ways that are maybe different than we imagined or pictured, and that's part of the magic. So the Black Panther is encouraging you to call upon it to walk with you, to protect and guide you in this next stage of your journey, because there may be some components that are unknown to you or uncertain at this time. And it just wants you to know that that's okay. And it's really essentially what I'm feeling is just because you don't know doesn't mean you shouldn't move forward. Now, it's really up to you whether you want to move forward or not. Yet at the same time, the Black Panther is saying you're ready, even if there's apprehension. So if there's apprehension, just be aware of it, breathe into it, call upon this guide to help you, and then see how you really feel about stepping forward and really embracing everything that's wanting to unfold for you at this time. So thank you for those of you who picked card 3, and I'm sending you so much love and light. Have a wonderful day. Take care. So card 4, bonus card, is a beautiful little prairie dog. So this fun little animal, and each of these cards comes not only with the animal, but they come with their little special charms on the bottom. And in this case, we have the feather here, which is bringing in that air energy. We also have some bone, so stability, structure. This is feeling carved like arrowhead energy to me with some accented beads, so about hunting and bringing forth abundance. And then we're also getting the more of the water element for emotional balancing, clearing, which is these 2 beads are coral, and then this is a turquoise energy, so more associated with like heart and throat chakra. And then the talons, which is energy of protection and defending our own. And so this is a really fun guide who I know, personally, not having been grown up in an area where we have prairie dogs here in the Midwest, I haven't been able to deal with them as much. However, they're really beautiful energy for being able to move into a space of inner retreat and stillness and quiet. And so part of their gifts are showing you how to retreat within yourself. Now, this could be that you retreat physically, you take a retreat, you go on a retreat where you can be with yourself, where you can be in stillness with yourself. However, it really on the deepest level is about you moving your awareness inside to seek the clarity that you need most at this time. So it's guiding you that while the world around may be chaotic, there is still deep stillness and inner knowing within you that can be easily activated and cultivated when you move your awareness from the outside world to the inside world. So, this is also potentially signifying that your energy may be getting a little bit depleted at this time, or maybe you've been feeling more tired than usual, or perhaps you've been pushing, and this is sort of giving you that sort of flashing light like your tank is not empty right now, but if you keep going at this pace, it's going to kind of come to a stop. And I can say from my own experience, I'm very great at doing a lot of different things. I love what I do, so I'm very active and I'm creating and I'm working on a lot of projects all the time. And at the same time, it was a really challenging process for me to get to a space where I could gauge like when I needed to rest. Because I love what I do so much, I wasn't always as aware that my energy was getting low. And so, what the universe started doing was giving me pain signals. I would get pain in my sacral area, in between my hips and in my neck, or I would get a really bad headache where I couldn't even get up. And when I would start to check in with this to be more aware of what the body was communicating, it was telling me that I was pushing too much, I wasn't resting enough, that I needed to stop. And so, if I wasn't going to choose to do that, the universe was going to choose to stop me itself and to say, no, give me sort of forced rest. So, what this is coming through in this moment is that it might be time for you to choose to rest before pain needs to be the communicator that it's time to rest. Now, this could also be confirmation if any of you who picked this card have been experiencing pain in your body, that you are being given that pain as a signal to slow down, to become more still, or to take some time to rest. And so, really check in with your body with that. It's really about us all finding our own balance. And that's going to be different for everybody. Some people can go for days without days off, or weeks, or what have you. Other people need more frequency. There's no right or wrong. It's simply about you determining what that gauge is for yourself. And so you can work with the prairie dog, who, if you know anything about them, they'll run around in the prairies, as the name suggests. But then they pop down into their little beautiful hidey holes and they rest, and it's safe and it's secure and it's their magical little sanctuaries. And so this is just them showing you that there's going to be those times when we're going to be out on the prairie, we're going to be working, we're going to be foraging, we're going to be creating, and then we need to pop down into our sanctuary inside to rest and rejuvenate and restore our energy. And so that is the message coming through with this beautiful little friend today. So I do encourage you to meditate, to call upon them, do your own research on them to see what of their medicine resonates most with you at this time. So thank you so much, card 4, for tapping in, sending you so much love and light, and take care.